I look at the lives of like my white friends, my Mexican friends, my Indian friends, none of them act like fucking black women. Black women have to do better. Being obedient and submissive to your man is not being called a pick-me.
Honestly, I don't think we respect men in Black culture, like Black American culture specifically. Like, there is not a respect for masculinity. Like, that's not a thing. If anything, there's more of a fear of masculinity. There is assumption that masculinity itself is bad, and therefore it's something that needs to be controlled. It needs to be maneuvered in a particular way. It needs to be manipulated, but it's not inherently good. Like, I really, 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 truly believe that. And I ran across this video. I haven't had a chance to listen to the whole thing, but it basically is talking about how women keep other women single. And so before I go further into it, let's just hear what she has to say, and then I'm gonna break it down.
I hate being like this, but the only people that be calling me a pick-me is black women. I'm not gonna lie. And when I look at the lives of like my white friends, my Mexican friends, my Indian friends, none of them act like fucking black women. Black women have to do better. Being obedient and submissive to your man is not being called a pick-me. And then it's like, I go to y'all pages and I feel instantly just sad. I feel sad for y'all because most of the time when I go to your page, you're single, you have a couple of friends, y'all going out, stuff like that, right? Look at your kids more mixed and matched up more in the Goodwill sock bin. You know what I mean? Kids just all different colors and variations. And it just makes me think, maybe because, you know, no one was there to show y'all and teach y'all, don't fucking just be out here fucking reproducing children with multiple men and losing your value like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to not have a kid with every man that you sleep with, you know?
So she's touching on a couple of things. Without her saying it, what she's basically exposing is something I've talked about a long time, and that is that Black America America in general doesn't produce wives. It produces workers. And that is especially true in Black America. Like, family values, marriage, again, these are things, institutions that are not really seen in high esteem. It's more about individuality. It's more about ladies getting the bag, especially after feminism, where women were given more opportunities and just the corporate world, and essentially in realms that they previously were excluded from. It really became more about being a worker than it was about being a wife or a homemaker. And so without her saying it, she's basically exposing it. And I've talked about this for a while, but I think when you have generation after generation after generation of fathers no longer being there, of homes consistently being disintegrated, and then you have governmental programs that have kind of helped supplement, you know, where men generally would be stepping in or things like that. It creates this like broken down culture that we have now, where if you've had generations of women who just haven't had men, or their mom wasn't married and their mom's mom wasn't married and the mom's mom wasn't married, you know, it was just like baby mama after baby mama after baby mama. Then after a while, you're gonna be like, well, men are not necessary. And in many instances, you're going to see men as the enemy, because usually it's people who end up being baby mamas. Those situations usually are not positive. They're usually associated with trauma, mess, child support issues, you know, affairs, cheating, all of that. So if you had basically generations of broken homes, men are not there. There has not been consistent positive representation of men and how men and women work together, then it's, of course, you are going to see and view masculinity as that which is other, that which needs to be protected against. It's particularly in a feminist culture such as America, where media is dominated by the feminist perspective. So, I mean, there's so many different things that I think have cultivated the culture that we have today. But what she's talking about is a direct outgrowth of generations after generations of, I think, masculinity itself being under attack, not having a healthy place of esteem in the Black community, right? So anyways, okay, let's see what else she has to say.
It's just, you know, like, I think that it comes from a lot of hurt with Black women. I really do, because it's like, at first I was like, why the fuck are they so fucking mad? Like, what is going on? And then I go and look at their life, and they've let their single friends keep them single. And that's what it is. Black women let their friends keep them single. Other races be like, I'm so happy for you. Oh my God, you're in love. You're this, and this. And they're very welcoming of that person's partner. You know what I mean? Black women be like, oh, where he work at? What he do this? What kind of money he got? Girl, make him buy you something. Like, you know what I mean? It's all about the materialistic things. And it's just, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I gotta stop arguing with you bitches online, because when I go to look at y'all page, 99% of the time, it's just sad.
She's literally right. The ones who are the loudest, literally the ones who have the most to say, people come on my channel, other channels that I know that I follow, the ones who have the most to say are the ones who usually never cam up, they never have receipts, they never have a lifestyle that's worth promoting. It's always the ones who don't have anything that worth, like anything that would be considered desirable to your average woman today. It's the women who are unhappy. Misery loves company. And unfortunately, there are a lot of women who are unhappy, they are miserable, or they are discontent with their own relationships. And I truly believe that because there are women out there that have a really tough time, it is so hard for them to take accountability. It's easier for them to deflect, or it's easier for them to blame Jermaine, to blame everything on black men, to say, oh, black men aren't this, men aren't that. So if they see a woman who is going against their narrative, if they see a woman who is challenging their narrative, instead of congratulating her and being like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Okay, maybe I need to broaden my horizon. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. No, instead of doing that, they're going to look at that woman who has some form of success, who's going against their narrative, and they're going to try to find a way to undermine it. They're going to say, oh, well, she must be being abused, or he's a dusty, or he's a cheater, or he's DL, or well, I don't like his shoes, or I don't like the way he looks. They're going to try to find some way to make it seem like that woman isn't happy, or try to make her be unhappy, or try to find a way for her to leave that relationship, because it just seems like there are women out here who love seeing relationships break up. They love breakup culture. To me, it's really toxic. And I think it really comes from a place of misery. It comes from a place of jealousy. It comes from a place of brokenness, but it's not normal. Okay. So I understand what she's saying. I can say personally in my own life, like I've experienced that with black women, not all of them, but I've definitely experienced negativity from black women who were making all kinds of assumptions about my husband, about my relationship, about different things. And I wasn't getting that energy from other places, from other spaces, from other cultures all the time. So I do think one of the reasons so many black women in America today are not married is partially because of the culture. It's not a culture that celebrates marriage. It's a culture that actually questions it, because it questions the undermined masculinity. And usually women choose to oppose that are going against the grain. Women who choose to oppose the kind of like toxic feminist narrative that's become mainstream, or that's become very normalized, they are swimming upstream. They are going against the grain. They are saying, I don't see submission as slavery, right? I don't see cooking and cleaning and doing laundry as oppression. I don't see that as being a mate. Like women who are operating in their feminine frame, if you will, or in their femininity, resting in their femininity, are oftentimes going against the grain, going against culture, particularly with a black man. I hate to say it, because it's like there's so many people in the culture, women particularly, who are against that because of for their own reasons. So I would tell this to any black woman, especially black woman in America, if she's married or soon to be married, that she just may have to be an acceptance that there's likely going to be some friends that she's going to have to lose, or at the very least, she's going to have to set some very strong boundaries. Because unless she comes from like a family system that is incredibly loving and she's seeing happy marriages everywhere, like outside of those rare examples, in most instances, you're going to have to do things against the culture or in resistance to what you see. And that may be hard to accept, but it's really real. Like you can't necessarily be with the sisterhood, with the sister code, and also cultivate a healthy relationship with your husband and a family at the same time. You're gonna have to pick a struggle. And sometimes you're gonna have to get new friends. You may have to get other married women friends, or women who are in similar positions who understand, who don't see your marriage as a threat to their lifestyle, or your relationship as a threat to their lifestyle, and are with you also trying to build healthy families. So like you're in the same wavelength there. So again, she touched upon a lot. I agree with a lot of the things that she said. I've experienced it in my own life and I've seen it. And I just think it's just one of those things in the culture that really has to be addressed. Anyways, y'all, what do y'all think? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Bye.
I'm really excited to announce my new kids book, Aisha Learns to Love Her Hair. Aisha's hair is stunning, but she struggles to see its beauty. Through encouragement and wisdom from Grandma Lily, Aisha learns powerful lessons about self-acceptance. Aisha's journey is a heartwarming tale of family, culture, and confidence. Share her magical journey with your little loved one today, available for purchase.